Neeraj Kabi, welcome to the Tommy Sandhu podcast. How are you today? And I don't mean it, don't give me that, I'm an actor and I'm going to give you everything's wonderful in the world. How are you right now? How are you today? How's it going?
I'm absolutely fine and perfect right now, Tommy.
Perfect. Look at that. That's a big statement.
And I feel good to connect with you.
Oh,
absolutely
man.
well. Yeah, thanks.
And where in the world are you? Where are you right now?
Right now I'm in Mumbai, India.
Okay, look at that. The sun is shining. I got to say, we've got some good sunshine here. Look,
I stay very close to the sea over here. Very, very close to the sea. So where I live, it's a complete open ground. And I can see the sea from my balcony.
Is that essential for you? Is that good for the Kabi soul?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's good for the Kabi soul and it's good for humanity.
Yeah. No, but it's okay. So I live down in Bournemouth, which is on the coast here in England, where I did my degree. And at night you could hear the ocean.
Amazing.
That's a pretty special feeling, isn't it?
Amazing. Yes, we do the same over here. Actually, at night, we do hear the ocean. We hear, we see colors that we've never imagined seeing at all times of the night. You start from 12 in the night and goes up to about 6 in the morning. And if you're sitting in your balcony having coffee or whatever, you can actually see color changes. And it's just awesome. It's unbelievable what you see. Okay. It's like in the movies, you actually see it here.
Yeah, okay, so you're making the movies come to life. Art reflecting reality, reality reflecting art, which one's which, And it's nothing to do with the Holly or these colors. These are natural colors, nothing to do with that.
Natural colors.
Wow, look at that. The Mother Nature's very own Holly show just for you.
Absolutely.
What's Mumbai life like? Is it all right now? I mean, is everybody out and about? Everybody kind of high-fiving and hugging and cuddling?
Yes. It's all open now. People are back to normal. And it's quite a delight to get back to normal life. People are... one thing about Mumbai is that there is a spirit that you have I think in New York or places like that, where come what may, people bounce back to life immediately. Yeah. And there is that spirit over here, which I so admire, I'm not from the city. I'm from the east of India. I'm here for my work since the last 25 years. But there is something special about this place. It's crowded. There's traffic. There's everything that you can think of. But there's a spirit over here that keeps you alive. So you can never be sick over here. You can't afford to be falling ill ever. You just bounce back because you see people around you living their lives. And
it's that kind of big city resilience that you do get. It's not quite the same thing. It's quite, I suppose New York, even after 9/11, they said the city bounced back. The people came together. They don't sit and mope for too long. And that maybe is just because there's a pace instilled into life. There's a do or die kind of survival. We don't do that. But that doesn't seem like you. You're an artsy type. You need time to reflect and be all emotional and connect with your feelings, surely.
Tommy, it's not so much about, I agree, an artist needs that time, to be by himself or herself and, take things slow, gentle, feel. But I think lives of all artists, including dancers and actors and whatever, there is a pace to it. I don't think we have the luxury of really sitting down and, taking a script and being with it for let's say months together. You can't possibly do that. You work like anybody else. And I feel I've lived that life. I work like anybody else works. So I got to get up in the morning. I got to do everything I have to do and get back to work and get back home, maybe late night, early evening, whatever. And you're back again to your work. It's a working life. It's not, when you're not shooting or when I'm not doing theater or when I'm not teaching or whatever, that's the time I get my time to really sit down with myself. Like I said, in my balcony, look at the sea over there. And then, reflect back. That's the only time that one gets over here to do. Otherwise, you're traveling. Otherwise, you're working all the time. So your set is your office and you get back to office every day.
Everybody talks about mindfulness now. Got to be mindfulness and your mental health and your mental well-being. I think artists, particularly people like yourself, and I don't know, you were getting to know, you're only a few minutes in, but particularly people like yourself, have always been mindful? Because I suppose that's part of your craft, isn't it? So where the world is right now, have you always taken that time out to kind of go, hold on, I just need to sort of, what's the word, implode? I don't know, and you kind of deal with what's going on inside for a bit?
Not really implode. I think, yeah, maybe implode is something that, yeah, it's explode and implode. Yes, it is. In fact, implode is a terminology that we use in acting. The director comes and asks you that, would you want to do it? Would you want to explode in this scene, or would you want to implode in the scene? What do you want to do?
And what's the difference? What's the difference there? Is that where you?
Sorry.
No. I said, what's the difference?
When you explode, you actually sit there and get everything on you, which the camera catches. Imploding is something that the camera really doesn't catch in the entire body. It catches it in your eyes itself, or maybe some part of your face. That's it. And everything else that's happening is happening inside you, within you, inside every element of yours, everything that you exist of. That's what actually explodes inside. But what implodes out is just a few things. And that's what the camera catches. That's imploding.
That's like when my mum was angry at me, but she wouldn't say anything. She'd go, look, you'd see more whites of her eyes than you've ever seen before. And
that's imploding.
Like, something's going on. I think I'm in trouble, but and you just kind of know to back off, to stop. Whatever it was that you were doing has to stop now. That's so. I think my mum would have made a good theatre camera actress.
Yes.
That, and she would have made a good ventriloquist. I realised because she does a and she used to tell me off with grit teeth. I'm like, that's really impressive, Mum. So I think she was wasted a little bit as a performer. There's definitely something in her there. But coming back to you and your mindfulness, taking time out, how key is that to you in your day, in your week? For you to kind of keep, because now, things are busy for you and things are very outward facing, and it's fame and it's people knowing who you are. And I know it's been a long journey, but here we are at this kind of stage now. You got. I would imagine you, Neeraj, want to keep hold of what makes you you, but you're being pulled in different directions quite easily.
True, and I do this mindfulness. I think moment to moment, I try to practice that as much as I can, and that's what's helped me. So although I don't sit and really meditate, or I don't sit and pray to a particular God all my life, or all evening, every day in the morning, nothing like that. I look at my own self from moment to moment, and I see if I can really stay grounded as much as I can. I think that's the word. My parents, my father is a farmer, and so we come from a background of being in a village, actually. And then I grew up in a town, of course, east of India, and then I came over here. So having seen, every weekend we used to go to the village, and the village actually is right across a jungle. So being in that atmosphere, breathing that air and being in that silence actually brings you up in a very different way. And I value that a lot today. Being in Bombay, I've managed to stay as grounded as I can, only because of where I come from. And I think that's very, very crucial, because that's what keeps you alive, and that's what keeps you creative. That's what makes me do what I do, actually.
Yeah.
So even if I'm performing something, my being grounded is very crucial. My being with people and yet being grounded is very crucial. My giving interviews like this and yet being grounded is very crucial.
Yeah.
It's important, because I can't lose my cool, which might just happen because you're all the time with people. And when you're in set or at set, it's noise, it's people, everything is bothering you except what you have to do. And that's where I think being mindful is very important. That's why I think your control over your own self helps you to accept everything that's happening around you. And you know that this is how it works. So you can't really lose your cool.
Yeah.
You can't yell at people, because everybody's coming from a background somewhere, right from the spot boy to the director, to the producer. They all come from a background, and you need to respect that. And this mutual respect is what creates cinema. I don't think films can be made without that.
No. And actually, on that note, you say, about acting. I did a little bit of like drama and performing arts at school and college, but I didn't pursue it after that. I use it like this. But improv really helped me, because effectively interviews are improv. So, you know, when you just going off of something another actor's doing, that was always great. And that's kind of what I apply to presenting now and hosting, which I love. But focus, actors are told to focus, you know, really kind of hone in. So it must be, you're right. I've just suddenly thought it's a double, triple challenge for you where you've got to focus on the role you're playing. Then there's now Neeraj Kabi, the person that everyone's going to kind of half looking at. What are his needs that he's got to focus on? And then there's all those distractions and PR and probably directors and makeup and people shouting and screaming at each other. It's a lot for, and again, I keep coming back to it. When I say someone like you, it's different if you're on a dance, I don't know, I'm trying to think of anybody can dance film set where it's all noise and it's a routine and it's a different kind of focus. But here you are trying to get into a character or into a mindset that's in Mumbai, you know, with ba ba beep beep ba ba all the time. Like, and you know, how that's near on impossible. That's yogi levels of being able to focus.
I guess, you know, it's about organizing. Which I learned in school maybe, or in college. It's how you organize your thoughts. It's how you organize yourself with people around you and how you organize your time as an artist. I think that helps me a lot. So if I need to organize my thought while I'm shooting, I need to be clear on what I'm doing and how I need to organize that. Because there will be people coming to me. There's my co-actor who in between a shot might just ask me, you know, where do you live? Where have you shifted? What's the car you got right now? And it bothers you because that's not what you're here for. Yeah. And you almost want to tell them that, are you here on picnic? Or are you, does it look like a club for you? It's a working area, but you can't do that, you know, because it takes away that self-respect between two people. Yeah. And that's where I think organizing thoughts are very important. I think I at least apply that. I try to speak when it's important and try not to speak when it's not important. So, you know, you hold yourself that way. You simply organize it. That's it. You simply organize what your priorities are at that point of time. There might be interviews waiting behind over there. There might be PR over there, but you organize it. You say, no, not now. And I don't mind losing this interview. It's fine with me. I need to focus here. So it's all about organizing and you know, working with integrity. It's not about money all the time. That's something that I've understood, fortunately, right when I began. Because if you focus on purely money and purely getting yourself out there and being just popular and famous and everything, you lose out on something. I've seen people lose out. I've seen friends lose out. Great actors lose out.
Yeah. I mean, if it was about the money, you'd be a lap dancer or something like that. Something where, you know, I'm sure you would make a lot of money, you know, so you've always been that person who's about the integrity. I tell you, I'm just getting flashes of, and I don't know what your connections are to him, if there are any, is Anupam Kher. Because you say about the acting school and your love for the craft. Have you had many dealings with Anupam Ji?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, you know what? Not. You've got a similar vibe. I just want to say that. In terms of, he loves his craft. There's a smile in his face as he does it. He takes it very seriously. Why are we here? He's got his acting school. I don't know. I just wondered whether, I think that's a friendship waiting to happen. There you go.
Maybe. He's far more senior to me though. Yeah, he's a very cool person.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also kind of cool as anything. You know, much like yourself, just kind of happy to talk and be very open about him and his feelings and everything else. And actually, you spend a lot of time with that when you say about focus. So not only are you doing that all for yourself, all those disciplines and keeping yourself grounded and in the moment, but you're passing that on via the acting classes. What is that? Is that a regular thing? Is that a regular acting school? How do you do that? How does that work?
So it's not a regular acting school. These are workshops I conduct. These are 12-day sessions, 3 hours daily in the evenings, 7 to 10 India time. And that's where I get in and I share my craft with them. Whatever I've learned in these years on my own, I've organized it in a way that I can, you know, spread it across 12 days and share these things with them. That's what I do. But they're not regular features. They're not every month. They're not every 2 months. It's when I'm not shooting, I do this.
Right. But so then where does that come from? Where does that desire to, well, is it a desire to give back, or is it a kind of a, hold a minute, these acting schools out there right now are teaching them all the wrong stuff. I've got to do something. Is it a must? Or where does it come from?
Well, neither of them actually, because I began this many years ago when I wanted to make a living. And I took a call that I don't want to be there doing anything and everything that I'm demanded of when I go to a shoot or when I audition or whatever. So these auditions that I went to many, many years ago, there came a point where I just got put off completely. And that's where theater began for me. That's where teaching began for me. And I told myself that I'd rather have an alternative way to earn a living and support myself and my family than, sell myself off like this. I knew that would be tough. I knew that this could have been easier, just going to any shoot and doing a small job here, collecting a few rupees over there and surviving for a few months and then carrying on the next. And then I said, no, I'll probably lose my dignity this way because it's been long since I've been wanting to be an actor. And I felt that, no, I don't think I'll sell myself off like this. Let me hold myself back. Let me do other things. So amongst the other things, teaching became prime at that point of time. So it came out as a necessity, what I had to teach to make a living. And then slowly and gradually, when I went into theater and I began earning from there and I got into films, it remained with me, teaching. So I couldn't let that go off. And then I felt that slowly when I started seeing people and youngsters going through the same journey as I was many, many years ago, when I saw them, I felt, no, I don't think I should stop this now. Let me share with them. Let me at least get across some craft with them and put it into their auditions and get work, make a living, send money to their families, be happy and have a craft and not just get into, films just because they have biceps or a good look or whatever, or not get, many, many people who come over here, including women, girls and boys. There is a sense of not getting back again. There's a sense of depression. They want to go back because they're told so many things at auditions and they lose their self-identity. They lose everything that they have come here with. And I felt acting classes are a source of giving them that spirit back, having a craft, going there with dignity and using that craft to do something better and better every single day. And that's why I think teaching is still, I'm holding on to that. Teaching adults, teaching youngsters. Yeah.
Yeah, you really have to be so solid in this game, don't you? You have to be, because you're going to get 99 knockbacks or you're not quite right. And you know what it's like. We now know when you're in the business for a long time, even from me, from a presenting angle, I'm either right for the show or I'm not. I'm either right for that project or I'm not. It's not actually me. It's just about a fit. It's like a paint color almost, to some extent, and what purpose that serves on set, on stage or in front of the camera or microphone or whatever. So, but to deal with that as a human being, you've got to be pretty darn solid inside.
I guess so. Yeah.
But where do you get that? So because you strike me as being so solid, because you've been sure about wanting to do this from the start. I know your career path hasn't been easy. I know you got knockback after knockback, and where was it? You had various things in your fate telling you that this shouldn't happen for you. You were the first casting you were asked to attend. Nobody showed up to meet you. You didn't get into the National School of Drama. You didn't get it. I mean, hello, Neeraj, those are signs saying do something else. But you're so stubborn. You're going, I'm going to stick with it. I mean, what is it? Are you stubborn? Is that thick skin? Is that just a inner deep self-belief?
I think
are you crazy? You're stubborn,
I'm
right?
stubborn, okay. I think, and I get this from my father. He said, if you're not stubborn, you won't survive the way you want to survive. You can survive if you wish to, but you won't survive the way you want to survive. I learned this many years ago when I was going through this entire journey and I used to actually talk to him. I wasn't so close to my dad. Now I am very, very close to him. But at that time, when I used to speak to him, I would listen to all these things and he would constantly say this one word: you got to be stubborn. You got to stand by this. And that stubbornness is important. And if you're not stubborn, you won't survive. I would hear this all the time. He conversing with his friends. And this was one common word I would hear him say all the time. It stayed there somewhere in my head. That, yeah, I think this being a good stubborn guy is important. You need to be stubborn. You just have to stand by this and bear it all. You don't have to give up like that just because things don't work out for you. You just have to see that. I've seen my father and my mother go through that entirely for so many years. Living in a village is not an easy thing. and they've survived that. They're educated people. They've gone to great colleges and schools, and then they decided to live that life. So we've seen them grow that way. And the strength comes from there. The stubbornness and even that self-dignity comes from there. I believe in that a lot. I wouldn't really, I mean, before you, there have been so many interviews that come, and if I don't feel like it, I don't do it. I'm not yearning for being popular through the source of an interview or Instagram. If you see my Instagram, there's nothing there. I don't really go for that. If I want to, I can, but that's not what I want to do right now. No. I think it's my work, and I've stood by that. I want my work to be there. I want people to be there with me because of my work. I think I'm getting clearer and clearer with that. If at all I get into this bandwagon of becoming popular and famous, maybe I'll commit a mistake. And pardon me for that. If ever I do that, I don't know. Till now, I haven't as yet. If I happen to do that, then forgive me if I've done that, and that forgiveness will be from everybody.
No, I actually know where you're coming from. So you want your craft to do the talking. You want your work. You want the roles that you play. You want the what you give to the people as a product to do the talking. But most people nowadays, and I'm working this out myself, are obsessed with themselves and where they fit into society. I think the reason why social media has exploded is because it gives you your platform, your profile, your page, your likes, your dislike. It's you. It's the kind of generation of, hey, this is me. This is what I stand for. And even when I remember, even from a young age, I've always seen like football fans wearing their shirts. I think that's just an identity crisis. You're saying, hey, look at me. I'm a Liverpool, Man United, West Ham, whatever fan. You want to be a part of something. Whereas you, Mr. Kabi, are almost saying, let me as a soul be separate, and let anything you know about me in the world to these outer circle of people, let that all come through this work. You're detaching from that to some extent, aren't you then?
I am, maybe, because I always feel that, even now when I go out, people do recognize you because of the way you look, and maybe they connect immediately. But I change my looks every time that I go and do any kind of work. So sometimes in a crowd, I've just finished a project maybe, and there are hardly a few people coming up to you. And you know very well that, they saw me 2 months ago in this. Now they don't see me that way, and they're not coming. And that's fine with me. Yeah. It's fine. It hurts. You tell yourself that, come on, why didn't you just look the way you are all the time when you're outside? So, you get this crowd coming up and at the airports or whatever, and they're clicking pictures with you. I see actors doing that. I do get, I do feel that, for a moment, I feel that even today, that if I want, I can do that. If I want, I can look like that, and I can get the crowds coming in. But then I tell myself, no, but that's not what I've been, through this entire journey. Then I'm disrespecting what I've been through. And then it won't make any sense anymore then. No. And my teaching won't make any sense anymore then. Because then I'm becoming like, being this guy who's there out in the crowd and is waiting for the crowd to come to him. So it does that. It's not detachment, but it's being with what you want to do and being strong there. Like I said earlier, it hurts. It does hurt that, you spent years and years coming here and you made it till now. And you want people to come to you, but then you realize that that's not the process or the journey of necessarily of an actor all the time. You just need to be known everywhere. Now that's fine, and people know you by your work. And what are you going to leave behind? I think that's very crucial. Yeah, that's concerning me right now a lot. Many years from now, I mean, we're all going to go one day, maybe 20, 30, 40 years from now. What are you going to leave behind as work? And so that's the identity of Neeraj. That's the identity of any actor that stays behind. And I've seen that in a lot of great Bollywood actors, great Hollywood actors, not Bollywood, it's the Hindi film industry. And I've seen that a lot of the Hollywood actors go through that, some amazing, great actors. And they've stood their ground. Yeah. And it's fantastic to see them.
And I think quality does stand the test of time. If you hold on to those, and also when you look back, you'll go, good, I didn't sell myself out. Whether it's your morals are different from mine or someone else's, you Absolutely. Stayed true. You stayed stubborn to you. In your dad's words. And actually, on that note, you do make quality. You know, I would, if you haven't already, take a moment out to pat yourself on the back, Neeraj, because you have. You've made quality, you deliver quality, and that's what you're known for. What is the state right now of Indian cinema and the whole streaming now, the explosion of streaming? This is a good time for someone like you, an actor like you, isn't it?
It is. It is. Yes, it is. It is. In fact, starting with Sacred Games, which was the first OTT platform project that I got into. And that was the first in India. Netflix came in and we had Sacred Games opening the OTT platform in India. Yeah. And I was fortunate, very, very blessed and fortunate to be a part of that, doing a fantastic role over there. I quite enjoyed playing the role that I played over there. And then on, things happened. So it's a very strong platform, a platform that's not very different from films, but yes, what it does is it extends the story across 9 episodes. So, you know, you've got 9 hours to really come out over there and build your character and be seen. And there's so much that you can do in a 9-hour space than you can probably in a 1.5-hour film. So that's the excitement I found when I first realized that, oh my God, I've got 9 episodes or 10 episodes to go through. And every episode is 1 hour. So I've got so much of time to actually say my story and tell my story and to appear in front of the audience and to perform and perform and perform. So yeah. Parulkar actually became, for me, one of my favorite performances, just like Ship of Theseus was. So I fell in love with this character. It was exciting because every time you would wear his costume and come out and you would pat yourself and say, hey, another 5 more series to go. You know, you're still there. It's just 4 episodes over. You still have 5. So save yourself. Don't give in this about the character. Don't throw this away this time. Hold this on. So every time you think about the character, you've got so many things you want to tell the audience. And you tell yourself that, no, hold this. I'll give this away in the 9th episode. I'll give this away in the 10th episode. I won't reveal this about myself as a character. I'll hold this back. So it's like actually, it's like a love affair, you know. You don't come out with everything with your girl. You know, it goes slow.
Take your time. You know, I was thinking of many analogies. I'm so glad you took a more romantic one. But you're right. It's about, I was going to say, yeah, it's about the foreplay. It's about the slow play. But no, more so than that, I think that must feel nice because you've got room to breathe. It's almost like, I can tell you what I'm thinking. It's almost like you've got dance moves and you can either dance them all your moves in one song or you go, no. We've got a whole night of music ahead of us or a whole week's worth of music. There's 5 parties at this wedding. You know, the night before, the Sangeet night, this. You can dance at all of them. You can hold back, you know, on your move. So that... For you as an artist must feel nice. There you go. I brought it somewhere decent. My producer will be happy that I didn't go down the foreplay route anymore. But that's good. That's exciting times. And I think, again, that's got to feel reassuring for you because you held on to your own morals, I suppose, values as an actor. And now it's almost like the world kind of caught up or fit that because of the way streaming is done. And I don't know about you. Do you feel, because it's something I personally feel like now post-lockdown, maybe it's through COVID, reassessing life values. I don't want to watch drivel, superficial crap anymore. I kind of want more. And don't get me wrong, I was all for a bit of wham bam, Fast and Furious type. I haven't watched any of the last Fast and Furious couple of films. I don't watch the Rock films. I watch the comedy films with Kevin Hart, with him. I think that dynamic works well, things like that. Or, but I kind of want more from a film. I loved Gangubai Kathiawadi, which came out.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it for many reasons, just because I know that Sanjay Leela Bhansali has put in a lot of thought into every frame and everything from the grading to the shot, to the look, to the feel, to the sound, and the little looks, the close-up looks of Alia to camera. She's just glorious. So I know so much thought's gone into it. I want that quality. You know, it's the difference of driving an Audi or driving a Ford. You know, you can feel the quality in the engineering. So this is a good time for people who want to engineer, like yourself, is what I was trying to get to.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Yeah. I think in films and in the OTT platform, I think both the areas are now becoming very strong, very, very strong. I guess maybe I may be wrong, but there is a sense of competing now because both of them are growing in a very powerful way. Although cinema is far older and far more solid, but OTT has really, caught up really, really fast, really fast.
Yeah.
And I see quality happening, not just in Indian films being, series being produced everywhere, all across the world. People are doing some fabulous work, and you're getting to see such fabulous stories, great actors, great writers, great directors. And that is surprising because you never knew they existed. And that's now you see them right now. They're fabulous, fabulous, coming from the US, coming from Europe, coming from India. Amazing work now.
Are you best suited to India, or are you more suited elsewhere, potentially, for projects or the kind of things you want to do?
I guess all over the world. I love the work being done in my country. I love the work that's being done in America. I love the work done everywhere, I think. I really, truly want to be a global performer. I'd like to be there everywhere. I would love to be cast in films that have my favorites all over the world. So I look forward to that. So if I say, I'd like to be in a film with Denzel Washington, and I actually mean that. I'm not saying it because it's a dream. I don't think it's a dream. It's a reality that we all can now look forward to. All this can happen. And these are some fabulous actors. I think fabulous actors must get together. Fabulous directors must get together. The world is no more the way it was earlier. It's all becoming now smaller and smaller and smaller. So this is a good time, very good time for people to, coexist and to be together. There shouldn't be a differentiation now. It's happening already. I'm seeing films where there are a lot of Indian actors who go down there and they're working with people from Europe, from the West, from everywhere, from the East, Far East. I mean, you've seen that happening. Irfan Khan was doing something in Japan. I forget the name of the entire series. Now, he was part of that. He was the only Indian actor doing that. It was a web series, actually. So things are happening and it looks fabulous. It just brings everything together. There are no boundaries anymore. Yeah. And I think that's so fabulous. Not having a boundary that says that's America, this is India. No, it's just one. It's just one planet.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful if you can do that as actors, as a film industry, as theater people, that we break the boundaries this way as artists. There's no differentiation. It's just casting according to your skill, according to the work you do, and we work together. That's it.
Yeah,
that's how it should be.
It just because you mentioned him, and it's funny. I get a similar vibe from when I met Irfan Khan that I do from you as well. Someone who enjoys and loves his craft, who takes it very seriously, but it's also good fun to be around. I remember him. We played a bit of. I brought him a cricket bat to sign, and he was feeling the weight of it, and he was enjoying the weight of the cricket bat and just kind of getting into it. And he stopped the interview. He went, "Oh, this feels nice," and was doing all this kind of stuff. So it was just lovely. How much of a loss is something like that? I mean, how did you feel? Because he's probably he was one of a handful of people, I would imagine, that you really respected in a craft sort of way. That was a big hit, wasn't it, to the scene?
It was huge, and I took that a bit personally as well because when I began my career many years ago in Mumbai, I think I was about 23 years of age or 22 years of age, something like that. And I was there. I remember one of my jobs. I mean, I did many odd jobs here and there. One of the jobs I did at that time was to be in a television serial where Irfan was performing. And I've never mentioned this anywhere. I think this is the first time I'm saying this. And I was there trying to figure out a little job over there. So I was working as one of those, absolutely the fifth or the sixth or the eighth production assistant or something like that. I was just a kid and had no value at that point of time. So I was given odd jobs on set to do all that. And that's the first time when I was doing these odd jobs, running around, picking up a box here, doing this, doing that. I was being paid a very, something almost close to nothing. But I was doing that because I wanted to get to films and be an actor. So that's the start. So they said, do this job. You come every day in the morning and you go back late at night, but that's what you will do. There's no specific job for you. I agreed and I said, okay, fine. And that's the time I saw this amazing performer. Irfan was also young at that time. very, very young. I think he was about 2 or 3 years elder to me. That's about it.
Wow.
And I saw him, and I remember for the first time when I saw him, I was picking up things, picking up clothes of actors, picking up things that were strewn around over there, and organizing the set over there. And that's the time I saw him and asked somebody, "Who's this guy? He's bloody good, man." And he says, this guy's from the NSD, National School of Drama. I said, "Whoa, I need to be there. I mean, does it produce actors like that?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Wow, man, NSD. Wow, what's that? Where's that?" And he said, "It's in Delhi." I said, "Wow, that's fabulous. And this guy's from there?" And he said, "Yeah, he's from there. His name is Irfan Khan." And I remember there watching this genius work from a distance, obviously, because I was always being shouted at on set because, "Hey, you there, you there, you there, get this, go there, get this back. Why are you here? You should be there." So I was this guy running around everywhere, but I would steal moments to look at this man perform. And I swore at that time to myself very silently and quietly that I want a day where I can do what he does, and maybe, God willing, maybe perform with this man one day. Here I am actually, doing odd jobs here, trying to help him as an actor because I have to pick up things that he's dropping away and take it to his van, throw it over there, get back running over there, ask him what do you want, pick up his script or whatever else that I was doing. And it did happen many years after that when I was doing Talwar. And for the first time, I entered the set and I saw Irfan sitting over there. Tears rolled down my eyes because I could never believe it that after 22 long years, exactly 22 long years, I was there. And my dream came true that I was actually watching this genius perform right in front of my eyes. And I got this good chance to be there, perform scenes with him. And there I was working with him, doing those scenes with him. It was, I can't express how excited I was because he was a genius. I mean, for me, it will be that he is a genius even today. And I looked up to him so much, other than Nasiruddin Shah. That's one actor I look up to completely today. Yeah. And after that, it was Irfan Khan. Yeah. So that's where it became a personal loss because I felt, oh, goodness, I was so waiting to do more work with this man. And he's no more there. He's gone. But, he's left behind something as a legacy that I look into so many times even today. Yeah. I keep watching what he has done. He's just so brilliant. I think people like that live on. I think artists like that can't go. That's where I think you come into the category of being called an artist because you never leave. You leave behind this kind of work.
Can I ask you what it is? Because you will see it in a different way to me. Your lens is that much more magnified, I suppose, to the art. What was it? Because what I saw in him was captivating actor, great performance. There's some actors that when they're on screen, their voice, their presence, there's something, it's a magic, it's a sparkle. But I probably couldn't put my finger on it because I'm not trained to. What did you see in him, and in the other great actors that you talk about, the Nasiruddin Shahs and Shabana Azmis and anybody else of that caliber, what do you see that they have? And is there a universality, is that a word, to what they have that you can kind of put your finger on?
I think when I saw first Nasir on stage, I saw 2 productions of his. When I saw him, the first thing that appeared to me, much later, the first one which I saw, I was very young at that time. And I saw another one of his when I was grown up, and then I had a sense of what acting was all about. What happens with these actors, these great ones are, I think somewhere when they enter a space, they swallow it down. They are like these huge snakes that are there, and you don't see anything else but them. They eat up that space. They rule that space somewhere. Ruling a space can only happen if either you're a king and you rule that by violence. But if you're an artist and if you can rule a space and you can make it completely yours where the audience is absolutely looking at you, with you, and breathing like you, that's where I think this greatness of you as an artist comes. And great artists do that. They won't allow you as an audience to look at anything else, listen to anything else, absorb anything else but them. And they become that powerful. And it's their craft. It's not the way they look. It's not their sound. It's nothing of that sort. It's not their heroic deeds. It's pure craft, and it binds you to them. That's what I think Irfan also had. When he came into the screen, you wouldn't watch anything behind. You wouldn't watch art direction. You wouldn't listen to music. You wouldn't listen to anything. You won't bother about the camera. You only wanted to see this godlike person over there. They're almost divine. Nasir looks like that when he comes in. You know, divinity somewhere comes in and you say, wow, is that what you call an artist? And is that what you feel when probably you see the divine come in? Because if he did that, I watched great dancers. I don't know if you've heard of Gurucharan Mahapatra. He was a great doyen of Odissi dance, classical Odissi form from east of India. When he performed as a male actor, he performed female leads. Imagine a male actor aged 72 years of age, and he's on stage, he's performing Radha, Krishna's Radha. You know, the most magnificent, beautiful, good-looking Radha. And a 72-year-old man with no hair, his teeth all broken, and he's a thin, absolutely, there's no body to him. Everything is just loose. He's old.
Right.
He comes from a village over there. And you get in and you fall in love with this actor, with this dancer. You fall in love with Radha looking at this old 72-year-old man who you wouldn't even give a second look outside. There he is, mesmerizing you with his craft, his work, his art, everything that he's given to. And that comes alive at that moment. You fall in love with Radha, and that Radha is being performed by this actor who's 72 years of age. What I mean to say is, when you perform as an actor, you lose yourself. And the character comes in so powerfully that people live with that character for life. They won't forget this character ever. I wish I can do that once in my lifetime. I'm yearning to do that. And I've seen Nasir do that. I've seen Irfan do that. It's just fabulous. Sometimes, yes, if I think of Ship of Theseus, I think, yes, I could touch that somewhere.
Yeah.
And I can say it myself. I have no qualms about that, saying it myself, because there are certain performances where I say, yes, I think I've been very close to touching that element of being there. And, you know, coming out of the character as Neeraj and putting that performance or that piece, it's like painting. It's like anything else that you leave behind, and people watch you. People watch you, remember that for years.
It's almost like that feeling sometimes I've got when you listen to like Qawwali music or ghazal music, and you're like, oh, it's like, oh, what was that? That was we went somewhere else there for a minute. Or, you know, it's not just the power of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan's voice. It's not just the tone, it's something else. Like you're probably exactly what you're saying. It's the craft of it. It's what's gone into it, everything that's gone into it up until that moment, that you then somehow, you just feel it all conveyed there. That's great, man. So what now? What now? Where are we going? What's happening? What's your schedule like? Are you reading scripts? Are you talking to people? Are you chilling for a bit? Where are you at?
Well, I am. I'll be getting into my new projects now. I just finished a shoot two, actually. Finished a feature film and a web series. So I'm now getting ready and preparing for my next. There's another feature film and another web series, and a very fabulous character that I'll be playing in the web series. I'm looking forward to that. So these are things lined up for the next 5 months now.
Okay.
So I'm getting ready for that. Yeah.
And how much time do you need in between? Because I thought you might need to just, you know.
Well, for the one that I'm going into right away is outside the country, and that will start, I think, in the next 2 weeks. We begin shoot. So yeah.
And do you mind me asking? Is there a Mrs. Kabi at home? Is there who's around? Who's around at home right now? Like, I mean, like, because you're just going to up and shoot and go abroad. I have to check all that stuff with my wife. You know, I have to kind of go, babe, this project's come up.
Yes,
you know.
Yes, there is a Mrs. Kabi.
Yeah.
I'm married and I have a kid.
Yeah.
I have a daughter. So yeah.
They're all there right now? Like at home? They with you? Or are they elsewhere? Are they in a family home elsewhere?
No, they're with me. They're with me. We're together.
if you're, sorry, do you mind me asking where you're going to go abroad? Like, where are you going? You said you're going to film abroad. Are you allowed to tell us that?
Right now, Tommy, I can't reveal anything at all.
Okay,
because this is under contract.
That's fine. Okay, I wasn't prying. What I'm trying to get to is, like, how useless of a husband are you going to be while you're abroad? Is what I'm because we all have that role to play, and that is a craft in itself.
True.
So
you know, so I try my best. Like, you can't really vouch for that unless your wife or your kid actually says it out in public. But I try as much as possible that when I'm home, I'm home. Yeah. I am there. And I participate in everything that happens at home. So I try not to be that artist that comes back and says, give me my space. Yeah. Or I take another something and then I have my wine with me and I'm inside my room locked up with my AC on and I'm reading something fabulous. I've just come back after a month's shoot. I don't do that. So when I come back, I just put away everything and I'm with family completely. And I make sure, because I know that I travel. So I think it's crucial. And after a point of time, if I'm not shooting for a very, very long time, then I get into teaching. And teaching is very close by where I live. So that's not an issue. It's just 3 hours a day. I go and do that kind of workshops. And I come back home. But when I'm not outside on set, then I'm home.
That's great. You're so disciplined. You know, like...
Not really disciplined, you know, Tommy. I'm not a regular party guy. I'm not a regular friends person. I don't pick up the phone in the morning and say, hey, but what are you doing? Come home.
Yeah.
Or I'm coming across. I can't do that. Because I don't know, maybe it's because of guilt, because you feel that, no, I've been shooting and how can I just walk out of home now and be with friends or whatever. So that's kept me being home and not really socializing too much. I probably don't do that a lot.
Yeah. But it sounds like what you're doing, similarly to myself, I say the same thing. I don't have a life outside of recording podcasts and working and being with my kids. But then I kind of don't want one either. And if anything, I've kind of become more that way post-COVID and lockdown and stuff. I'm like, actually, my 2 kids and missus and my mum and dad round the corner, that's enough. That's enough. And I love this. I will take away so much from this conversation about focus, about discipline, about clicking into different gears. And I think that's an actor. As an actor, you can do that. You can go, right, now I'm home. Now I'm reading. Now I'm there. And that is... focus and you know, and to some degree discipline and that kind of knowing yourself as well and being stubborn, being kind of going, right, this is what I'm doing right now, and you obviously seem quite happy saying no to things as well. No, I can't be at this or, you know, that opening of this, or, you know, endorsing a product of this. You seem quite sure of that.
I do that as well. Yeah. I don't, unless I'm really pushed into it and it's very crucial for the producer. I don't otherwise. I try not to. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing you on the West End stage. I'm sure you'd come to London. I think that'd be great to get you in a musical, get in theatre. I don't think that will be beyond you. So
you never know. You never know. You might just receive a message from me saying, "Hey, I'm in London."
Great. I promise you can come and stay here. We won't talk to you. We'll leave you alone. We don't have AC. There's no need for that here. But we definitely have wine. So no. But if you are ever in the UK, honestly, I'd love to hook up with you. I'd love to see what you're up to as well.
Yes.
And enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy the craft. Enjoy being stubborn. That's going to be the message of this podcast. Be stubborn and be true to you. It's great advice, and that's not your advice, by the way. That's to senior Mr. Kabi, the farmer from East India. There you go. Big up the dads. All right. Thank you so much, Neeraj. Thank you for your time, brother.
Thanks so much.